you still go through some suffering though along the way. But that's all right. We'll get an answer and understand that. But basically, can you see the order and the policy that's going to do it? You got to have your part there because we seeing God back there. We can't get over. So, that's right there. He's right there to send it out. And all we do is put what we're doing and get our past and send it out and hear the message. But what we do is feel it. But we don't know people about this Jesus. They are saying, everybody, and what's the best to get to that point? So, you see, I got experience with the bands. But right now, I go back to it. We don't have to get into it. To others. And I want to hear about the movement. So that's what we're doing. Exactly. You remember? Through is more comparison. We don't have comparison. That's what he went through. Let me get in. And I feel and promise to do it. And I know that sometimes I'm free of the and to be good. We must have been able to do it. When I get to it, when I wish to have it, to my work. And my life. I was watching that. I had to do that. So I'm doing it. That's what I said. Basically. That's what I was talking about. And I had to really talk to 53 and I was there. And I was going to go in and talk about what I thought I was doing and quality of the music. But don't you think that people right around the house, everything in their own house, having to go through this stuff like this, they all have to turn around. This all trying to go through is the soul to bring God to God. So everybody else, darkness and Jesus, going by God behind the cross, You follow me? There we go. But once again, spread the message of salvation and evangelism. And tell them about this Jesus that he can save everybody. What Christ did, they come to serve and justice. They thought to run out. That's what they want. They run out. And what's the thing about it? Because they, like us, I don't think anything about self. We don't know about it. But God, look at all of us. You know that we've done so many bad things in life. But we still forgive us. And we still don't think of us. Because we always give us an opportunity for second chances. So we have to look to him and understand his death on the cross. And this is what I want to go around life. That's how I want to make the world. But you understand that Christ, the Savior, died for our sins. So we go down in the cross. That's all I get. That's what it says. See that what's in us? The Spirit? That's what we direct us. And it's keep us going. So we know that the devil done try to beat us, but we've been talking about our parents through our week. Talking about free on. And when you go through anything, we got free on. When you talk to me, when we go through this, everything we got free on. Well, we must say we're talking. So we go on and against the war. And I say, do not say, I am the name. I am the spirit, my strength, for naught. That word means for nothing. And then, one that means useless. Yet surely my judgment is with the Lord. And my work with my God. That verse started to beat me up for a minute. But I understood something. The servant, Messiah, looked ahead of his first coming, of his issue. Don't forget now, we fully know Jesus Christ. And God is put this through Isaiah to tell the people what's going to happen in the future. And God have it in the lesson now. Christ hasn't came back yet. Okay. And the Messiah looked ahead to the first coming and issued what seems to be a complaint, saying, this part is to be stubborn of the Jews, to whom Jesus went in person preaching the gospel of the kingdom at his first coming. First, he complained that he was labored in vain, worked hard for nothing. See, understand this. Understand this hip-hop. When I explain this message, and then like this, they ain't trying to hear you. That's what I do. Did we throw the towel in? Or did we keep trying to tell him what he said? And this is Jews. This Jew was back here, walking around, preaching and teaching the gospel. And their folks. But they still don't respect him, don't reject him, they still didn't stop. He complained that his labor was in vain, working hard for nothing, because the Jews refused to hear and accept him as his people. And secondly, I have spent my strength for nothing and in vain. He wore himself out, using all his power, but nothing useful came of it. What we want to do tonight, when we sit and trying to teach them people, or get them out in the night, but I know Abraham never did. You never will. But we don't quit. We continue to spread the good word. And the word and the practical, the whole nation reflected him in his teaching. They were Jews became his disciples. So we see and understand why by him, the Sabbath Messiah would say, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for nothing. And then it is useless. Jesus would preach so many sermons, perform so many miracles, but in their humanity, that was all in vain, was it because he didn't see much success. And that's where we are today. We not listen to God. We listen to everything else. But we not listen to, you can see how the church is in. The churches ought to be filled. And we ought to have everybody who is a believer in Christ ought to be picking up their 66 books and understand about this God. Ready to teach and preach and spread this good news about this man who can save anybody. Because it's a place where we're trying to get to. That's eternal life. And all what we're going to get to is through him. So we're going to have to trust and believe in him. This is some complaints of being a faithful ministry who have given all of themselves. We talked about it, Charles. You done gave all yourself to their strength, labor for the Lord, but because they see no real result of their preaching, many ministers consider it all to be in vain and for nothing. But we must remain faithful and committed and not think that it a strange thing to be slight, when the master himself was also slight. Well, he meant he couldn't get, he was out there spreading the message, but we had deaf ears. Or we looked to everything else. And back when we understand, we had folks believing in the stars. We had folks believing into the word or the images. But we hear everything except about Christ. We don't want to hear. But he still didn't stop. Israel as a whole will not repent as a result of Jesus' ministry. He was confident that God, the Father, would see his work and to reward him for it. Whew. That's what we try to get. We not get no reward here, but we will get our reward later. And this is what the servant Messiah meant when he said, "Yet surely my judgment is with the Lord, and my work with my God." If Christ is all faithful, and he was his judgment with the Lord, who will justify him even though men condemn him and refuse to give him his promise? So, to speak, Jesus' reward for his work is with his God, who will make sure that his losses, nothing, and gain everything. As believers in Jesus Christ, we can have the same confidence that our labor of service for God is not in vain. Great message. Yeah. Great message. So we goes on in verses 5. And he said, "This a little light to the Gentiles, a message of hope." And it says, and now, saith the Lord, that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. For Israel be not, and my God shall be, for Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. Woo! That's a mouthful. See, when we gonna get there, but yeah, we're gonna get to the next verse. The next verse, I think that's where we are. I'm saying, yeah, it's in verse 6. But we go and let me bring you there. And now saith the Lord, God, servant Messiah repeats what he said in verse 1. How he was in the womb of his mother. And that the Lord has formed me from the womb to be his servant. God not only called him early to his mission, but he also began early to prepare him for it. So we know Christ. He was born in the manger. We heard about it. Then we know Herod was trying to come and take him away and kill him. But 2 months later after that, you didn't hear nothing else from this Jesus Christ. He went off the scene. But about 30 years later, when he came back. And all that he was doing then is going through preparation. Because his assignment, that's our topic, a mission to save. His assignment was what God had for him. Likewise, those who God chooses to use as his servant, his fashion, and prepare them long before they and anyone else been aware of it, Jesus was to be his God. The seed of Jacob, also called Israel, must first be dealt with. That was his mission. And Jesus Christ, the Messiah, God's servant, is the one God will use to bring them back to him. Jesus and the word of salvation that he preached was sent to the Jews first. And it said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that because through Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. In other words, even in Israel, does not respond positively to Jesus' ministry, he will still receive glory and strength from God. It is true that not many from Jewish nation were changed by Jesus, preaching and miracles of many things, but rejected him. Yes, they did. But God honored him and made Jesus glorious. Now, what is glory? He was worthy. He was worthy of what he done. And that means his baptism, his transformation. God also spoke to him from heaven, sent angels to minister to him, and made even his shameful death glorious, worthy, and even more. He was the resurrection, which was witnessed by many in Jesus' suffering. We go, Charles, again. In Jesus' suffering, God was his strength. So the strength, he was, like we said, he was discouragement. He was about to lose confidence, but he did. What do? We throw the towel in. But Jesus kept going. And so, although he met with unimaginable, here we go, this encouragement, lost the confidence from the people who he had done so much for. But understand, I had to stop there. He had done so much for. And this the way we repay him? This the way we repay him? And here I had made my hair being discouraged. God sent an angel from heaven to strengthen him. And I was like, well, God, if we don't know the story, that's because we're not into our books. And if we don't know, how can we give you glory not by works? So he's telling us men, we're going to be in the highways and byways, telling about this Christ who died on the cross and bear all of our sins and to pay the price. That's what we should be out telling them, even the other generations who don't know. Because we got a lot of broken families. Don't know Christ themselves. But our mission is to get out and spread the good news about this Jesus. And we go on. Well, here we go. And he said, it is a light thing that you shouldn't be my servant to raise up the tribe of Jacob, and to restore and to reserve of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that you may be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Here we go. If you understand this, we're going to do a part 1 and a part 2. So, God clearly described the mission of this service. And we know what the mission is. What it's the task, the assignment, what it's Jesus. He will restore. And he will protect Israel. So every Israelite will be saved. But only the portion of the nation that turns back to God. I'm not going to turn back to God. Some of them got lazy. Some of them believe into what they were saying, all these gods. They believe that. So that's where they're at. But if you do have that remnant, we talk about that remnant, that small fruit, that will return. And that's just like us in the church today. They will fear us. And what we need to be doing, once we get out these walls, and the message we deliver, we should be going out sharing. Because a lot of us out there look at us in here and understand, well, you're living a life better than mine. No. Well, let me help you, Joe. If you understand the story here, Jesus, God, protected him in his quest for 30 years. You didn't hear about this Jesus no more. He was preparing himself. And that's what he said. So, what he did for us, he didn't prepare us with 66 boats. And then we have experienced things in our life that we can't be ashamed of because we know how it's caught up. That's what we're supposed to be out there telling our story. Because we don't know, if you don't know it, we don't need to be out there trying to say the word that we don't know. But you know, that couple what you tell every day, you know that. That's what you need to be saying out there. Because there's some same souls looking at you and saying, how did you get here? I look at this Taylor, I know this man named Jesus. When I was lost, he saved me. And don't need to talk about no doctor says over here, no whatever over here. I need to be talking about this Jesus who saved me. And we're never going to get the whole understanding, but Lord, we stand our books and what we meditate on and understand by ourselves, that's what we need to be sharing, what we know. And then we stand to our word, Bible study, Sunday school, home, whatever you're doing, you're trying to get more knowledge. The Holy Spirit in you will feed it to you. And then, well, look, all it is, you be like an intercessor. See, because we see here, Jesus is the center of the Father and the people. So if we're not on a mission, if we're trying to express God's word to get somebody saved, we have to talk about us. About this Jesus, to get them in here, then we let the message from the pulpit that they receive, maybe that'll get them to where they need to be to God. Because we don't know how, but then what we do know, we should be sharing. Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. That's it. Well, woo! That's it. Sure. Yes. you taking the what? See, we call it in the 66th verse. There's something in there for us, for everybody. And I can't get everybody stirred, but I can get mine. And I can go to mine and beat it up. But now understand this. Okay, now what we at in church? Drinking in the church, I got to get most stirred. Because he didn't call me to a higher. See, now I got to be able to better acknowledge myself in this word a little bit more than one still on infamy. Now, I should be up eating meat now. I should know him a little bit better on what he worked for me. And all that comes through the maturity. And I still battling what you were saying. Number 9, dirty. And that comes through the 66th book. And like we said, we put people in place. And like I look at you, you're there, you're coming. But it's going to be some questions, because I know about some questions. Because we don't need it all, but we want to get there to know what we need to know. So for that 1 minute, Keep on, I know you guys. But where we at now? In the lesson. Okay. All right, well, we still in part 1, right? But then God says that restoring Israel is not enough. It's not enough. This is the only part 1 of the mission. Restoring Israel is not a small or light matter at all. Yet God has even bigger plans in mind. See what he was saying in that eighth verse. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Now, this is what I want you to do. But it's a life situation here. Now, you still, in my mind, I got so much left. Huh? I got more left for you to do. And what we go on in our part 2, his mission is to be a light to the Gentiles. That's your second task. That you may be my salvation unto the end of the earth. And it go on. God's plan then is for salvation to reach all people even to the end of the earth. This has been true. From the time God first called Abraham and blessed him, he did not. He did so not, simply so that Israel could enjoy being blessed, but so that they might be a channel of blessing to all the people. See, what he's saying, now I'm going to bless these Jews, but I'm also going to bless these Gentiles. See, because he ain't stopping until everybody reach salvation to the end of the earth. Everybody. Israel has failed to do this blessing because you know the story there. They didn't want to hear. They want to hear out from all these other stuff. But the individual servant is the new Israel. That's Jesus Christ. And not to see. Jesus is this servant. He called himself the light of the world. See, the light shining over the world. He called, like I said, it was the A light, it was the B light. Now I'm bringing all of y'all under the light. All of y'all from all nations. Jesus is the servant. He called himself the light of the world. The name Jesus is based on salvation because he will save his people from their sins. Because this salvation is not only for the Jews, but the Gentiles as well. So he ordered his followers to teach all nations. God's salvation in Jesus truly has reached the end of the earth and covered the globe. So, we don't see no favoritism here, do we? There is no favoritism here, not when it comes down to Jesus. Jesus didn't take these Jews and say, you just Jews and you will get salvation. He said, no. All of you will get salvation. So all we have to do is turn from our wickedness and only see God as a whole. And then he continued to spread this gospel news among them who have not yet experienced this salvation. Thus said the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One. And his Holy One, to whom man despised, to to him whom the nations are heard. To a servant or ruler, king shall see the arise. Prince also shall worship because of the Lord that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose you. And what he's saying? Here the servant Messiah tells us that God the Father is speaking indefinitely himself as the Redeemer. The Holy One. The people will remind of God's deliverance to his people from Egypt as the Israel. The people would be reminded of the Lord's holiness, his presence in Mount Sinai. The Messiah said, thus said the Lord, the Redeemer Israel, and his Holy One, to whom man despised. Understand this. Now, in verse 6, it goes back and that was pleasant, how we have to keep God. He going to deliver us and going to give us salvation in verse 6. And he's going to give it to all. And then we come in verse 7. Us people, you despise, meaning you disrespect, or you are heard. That means you reject it. Somebody who to save you. How can you turn from cheering to hatred for somebody who's giving you what you need? We understand we serve an awesome God. But how can you turn from joy to despite? Hate. And it goes here. You want to answer? Go ahead, then. And well, you right on it, man. I'm saying you're right on it. In fact. And who he's talking to is man. That's us. That's us. Man. I see him talking to a robot. But he's talking about man. You've been saved. You're so happy. God who brought you out of bondage. Now, you hate and despise this man. You don't know church folk like that. We're looking for into the church, huh? You don't know church folk like that. Sometimes they might not say what you want to do. It don't matter to me. But the word, what you receive, might step on your shoes. But mistake, right here, they reject him and they disrespect him. So, abhor means to feel hated. So they hated him. For what? Just because in verse 6, he was light of the world. So, to be despised by such creatures as man, who himself is called a worm, man who Jesus Christ came to save and to honor, despite him. And his persecutors were also ungrateful. The Jews, it also, the one who hated him, the Jews treated him like he was the worst of men and cried out, crucify him! Crucify him! When he was on the cross. But, in verse 6, it was like taking him off because he was the light of the world. Flip-flop. Look at Luke. I know you understand. But the Gentiles, it was foolish. What they said, his word was foolish. God also described the servant or ruler, meaning that, meaning that served Jews, would be a subject to the king, even though he is King of Kings. But the Jews submitted to it for our salvation. Then God made a promise to his servant. He promised that the king shall see and arise. Princes also shall worship. How can you change it? I need him now. I need him again. Every time we need him, we can turn to him. See, what a wonderful thing. Lord is thirsty, but now I can turn to him and worship and praise. Now, king will see him and stand to respect him. But princes, great leaders who bow down to him, this will happen. But because of the Lord that is faithful and the Holy One of Israel, he shall choose thee. This means that God will be the promise of the servant Messiah because he is faithful. Can be trusted. And the Lord, the Holy One, God chose Jesus for his message. When God fulfilled this promise, it will be evidence that Christ had a order which he finished. And God had chosen him and will stand by the choices that he made. So, God didn't give up. He looked to God. God did everything in his power to give him what he needed, as he's doing today. And that's where we at in our lesson today. So we go on, and they mass to the prison. Go forth. To them that are in the darkness, show yourself. They shall feed in the way of the pastor, shall be in the high places. In verse 10, they shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them, and he that has mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of the water, shall be guided, will guide them. And 11 say, and I will make all my mountains a way. The mountain highway shall be exalted. It will be raised up to the point that good kings will provide for his people, bring prosperity for good promise. This is what the 7th king does as well. He proclaims that those kings does as well. Well, he proclaims that those in prison are free and brings those living in oppressive darkness into the light. Concerned with unjust physical slavery, his greatly concern is with the spiritual slavery, bondage to the sins and the power of darkness, which is likely the focus here. And 10, the ultimate, as God people, we must look to Christ for these things as our God shepherd. We look to God to provide for our needs while on earth, when we seek first his kingdom. And I was like stoned, because we understand how you can clap here for salvation. And then you turn around, you hate it. Then you reject it. But he still didn't give up on us. That's it. Yes. Woo. Yeah. That's it. That's it. And then in 11, and I will make all my mountains a way, and my highway shall be exalted. Return to the promised land is that God will make the journey as easy as possible. He will flatten the mountain. He will lift up a broad highway above the valley so that the path is visible, straight and smooth. Nothing will get in the way of this grand gathering of people to God. So, what he's telling us about this promised land, the place where we're going, he's going to make it smooth. He's going to make it won't be rough. And I like to hear the old folks say, every day would be like Sunday. Sunday have no end. You know? That's what he's talking about. And I was like, well, God will cut down mountains, but that he will enable to smooth return at every step along the way. So nothing won't interfere as we're going through our journey. And all it is, what he's doing for us today, preparing us till we meet him again. So, as disciples, church folk of God, prepare you. Get it right. Just knowing and realizing that it will be a smooth travel. So all we have to do is plan to return to a right relationship with Pastor had brought up earlier. With God. Through the forgiveness of sin, brought about through the work of the Savior. And that is my Sunday school lesson, knowing that God been good to me. I don't think I could have made it, but hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah. But, and God tell us too. Jesus was telling us about his life, or his way. He had got to the point of discouragement. But that's okay. We go through this discouragement in life. But he didn't never throw the towel in. He kept going, looking to the one who knows who can get him there. And that was God. And I focus on Jesus Christ. All we have to do is keep our trust in him. We can make it through anything. I know we want to throw the towel in sometimes, but we have to dig deep and understand. He done brought me this far. He's not going to leave me. And that's what we have to understand. And that is my lesson. Any questions?
This lesson, y'all have completed it.